They told us to get out of New York. We heard it from Donald Trump. We've heard it from Shark Tank, Kevin O'Leary. We've heard it from Grant Cardone. Stay out of New York. So anyway, New York Attorney General Letitia James was met with a massive chorus of boos, Trump chants during this FDNY, the Fire Department of New York City ceremonial speech. Letitia James was met with a wall of boos. And, you know, we've already seen the outlash from the truckers boycotting New York City after the $450 million lawsuit that Donald Trump got hit by judge presiding over the case, which was Arthur Engeron. But Letitia James was hit with a resounding number of boos, amount of boos during her speech, which I'm going to get into later in this video. New York City, New York will be sending National Guard to the subways after a string of violent crimes. And Elon Musk is actually saying that Biden is flying 320,000 unvetted migrants into the United States and is setting the stage for something that's even worse. In fact, far worse than 9/11. Now, we've got a lot to get into today, guys. All I ask is that you take 1 second, drop a quick like for the video. I totally appreciate you guys. And I just want to thank you for always sharing these videos. You guys are absolutely the best. So let's go ahead and get started here. Let's start off with Letitia James. So New York City Attorney General Letitia James, famous for essentially taking down Trump. She hit Trump with this victimless lawsuit. Banks were not complaining. Investors were not complaining. The banks, in fact, made money because they charged interest on the loans that Donald Trump got for the properties, for the buildings that he built. Essentially, the case was built off of Donald Trump allegedly inflating his asset values in order to get more money from the banks for the loans he needed to build and construct real estate development. Anyway, so here we have Letitia James met with a chorus of boos and Trump being chanted from the crowd. I can only imagine truckers being in the crowd among them. But New York Attorney General was not very welcome when she walked up to the podium at this Christian Cultural Center in Brooklyn campus. Members of the crowd made up of the families of the captains, battalion chiefs, and whatnot. And of course, you know, many of them were firemen. They began to boo. They booed the attorney general, and it was just wild. I mean, it got to a point where she was like, you know, guys, please settle down, settle down. What's going on, James? I see you, Stacy, Brian, John Hield, Lord Andrew. Appreciate you guys checking in the comments. I'm going to come back to the comments a little bit toward later in the video. She says, oh, come on, we're in a house of God. First, simmer down. And so this is what James said as, you know, she tried to get the crowd to calm down because they were not happy to see her face. What would you guys have said if you were in the crowd after seeing Letitia James walking up to the podium? Now, you would think that she would actually have more support in New York City, but evidently not. So James went ahead and tried to get through she tried to get through her speech, but lo and behold, the booing started turning into these chants, and people were like, Trump, 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 Trump. And so things got out of hand really quickly. So James, of course, you know, she runs the office who recently won this $450 million civil fraud judgment against Donald Trump. Ultimately, you know, she tried to push through to get through her speech, you know, saying, you know, that we should be praying for those men and women who exemplify true courage, because she was actually there to deliver a speech. But a lot of people, most of the people in the crowd didn't want to hear it. So that was a thing. But moving on, Kathy Hochul is taking a different approach. So New York City is actually going to be sending National Guards to the subway after a string of violent crimes. So New York City Governor Kathy Hochul announced plans Wednesday to send the National Guard to New York City's subway system to help the police conduct random searches of riders' bags for weapons following a series of high-profile crimes on the city street. Now, I got to ask you guys this. How would you feel with the National Guard being at the subways checking your bags. Like, it's almost like now everyone's a criminal because of what's been taking place. And it makes you wonder, did they want to do this all along? Do they really want to remove your rights and put us all in a situation where now there's a justified reason to just check everyone's bags and it basically delete our privacy, all in the name of protecting New York City citizens and residents? Or is this a legitimate concern? I want to hear from you guys. Like, is this blown out of proportion or what? Drop me some comments, guys. So anyway, Kathy Hochul, she's a Democrat, and she plans to deploy 750 members of the National Guard to the subways to assist the New York Police Department, the NYPD, with bag checks at the entrances to the busy bus stations. Now, here's the thing. Excuse me, the busy train station, I should say. Now, the thing is they're actually labeling these as being random inspections. So how do you determine who gets checked and who doesn't? Like, I could easily see that this could very well go in a direction that's not necessarily the best direction. Like, imagine someone feels as though they're being racially profiled because they look a certain way or they have an accent or whatever they happen to be wearing. People may feel like, hey, this wasn't random at all. You decided to search my bag because you felt some kind of way about how I looked, or you had some predetermined feelings about, I don't know. So that's typically how that goes when it goes to random. So do you go with a random search of bags every now and then, or do you go ahead and search everyone? I don't know necessarily which one's better. Kathy Hochul went on to say, for people who are thinking about bringing a gun or a knife on the subway, at least this creates a deterrent effect. They might be thinking, you know what? It may not be worth it because I listened to the mayor and I listened to the governor, and they have a lot more people who are going to be checking my bags. Okay, sure. Maybe that might be the case. We have yet to see. But Elon Musk is actually sharing some rather interesting sentiments here. So I don't know if you guys heard about this one, but Elon Musk is saying that President Joe Biden is flying 320,000 unvetted migrants into the United States. And that's not the worst of it. Elon Musk is saying that this is actually setting the stage for something that's going to be far worse than what we experienced in 9/11. So this is coming from Elon Musk here, guys. Now, Elon, he went out here, he pretty much ripped President Joe Biden a new one and the entire administration for secretly flying 320,000 unvetted migrants into the United States, essentially signaling that, this is the groundwork being laid for something that theoretically could be far worse than 9/11. Now, I don't know how you top that. That's pretty bad. So Elon Musk, he went ahead and he issued a grave warning on Twitter and basically said, hey, it's just a matter of time. I mean, here you have, 320,000 unvetted migrants being flown in secretly. Is this news to you guys, or have you heard this before? Let me know if you guys have heard that before. But he goes on to say that this administration is both importing voters and creating a national security threat from unvetted illegal immigrants. Now, here's the thing, guys. The theory here is that, Elon Musk is basically saying, like, this is why groups on the far left are so hard to stop voter ID requirements. They want to stop these voter ID requirements because if they can bring in all sorts of random people, into the country, and they know that the Biden administration is letting them in, well, who would they most likely vote for? If they had the ability to vote, they would probably vote for the people who let them in the door, right? So if the Biden administration is basically letting in all these different people into the United States, the theory goes that, well, that would be an easy way to get millions of new votes. I mean, if you look at the head count of people entering the country illegally, if they're letting all these people come in and they know who let them in, and the Biden administration can kind of eliminate this voter ID, voter validation of who's actually voting, well, you suddenly have a tremendous number of people that now could come in and vote for the guy who kind of opened up the door for you. So that's pretty much the thesis or the theory behind what Elon Musk is essentially saying here. Not just like that will be the worst thing that could happen, but that's among many other potential scenarios that could ultimately evolve as a result of all of these different people coming in and the voter ID requirements being at the forefront of a lot of political conversations. This is definitely a legitimate concern for a lot of people. And though 36 states have laws requiring voters to now show some form of voter identification at the polls, there's still 14 states, including New York, California, Washington D.C., and like 11 other states that do not require any kind of documentation to vote. So this could very well open up the doors for some pretty serious issues, right? So meanwhile, you got Democratic lawmakers, they're deeming that the voter ID laws requiring photos are unconstitutional. So I just want to ask you guys real quick, do you think that when it comes to voting, you should have to show your ID before voting? Or do you feel like showing your identification is a breach of your constitutional rights? Let me know. Should you show an ID when voting or should you not? Just let me know in the comments, guys. So in the past 12 months, Biden administration has allowed at least 320,000 illegal immigrants to fly into 43 different American airports through a controversial program called the using the Customs and Border Patrol app, which is, believe it or not, there's an app that allows this to happen, believe it or not. And it was created in order to let migrants apply for parole into the United States, according to the Daily Mail. And the thing is, it wasn't immediately clear where the migrants were flying in from. So anyway, the Center of Immigration Studies has said that the locations are being kept under wraps. Why? Why are you keeping it under wraps? Like, wait. So there's a program funded by the federal government that is flying migrants into the country, and at the very minimum, they're not letting you know what countries people are flying in from. That's a little bit shady. And if you disagree, please let me know. But does that sound shady to you guys? So anyway, so Elon Musk, Elon Musk is a very controversial character. And I like how, the cool thing about Elon Musk is he's got so much money. He doesn't really care too much about people's opinions. And he just pretty much blurts out whatever he wants to say. But he's been notoriously outspoken against Biden's lackadaisical border policies, specifically at the southern border, Texas, Mexico, Arizona, California, mainly those states, but the southern border as a whole. But Elon Musk actually mentioned during a live stream from Eagle Pass how he heard a man hop the border with facial tattoos, including teardrops, which he said means they have murdered someone and are very proud of having done so. And so these are the kind of people that are being let into the country, according to Elon Musk. So what do y'all think about that? After Eagle Pass declared a state of emergency last year over the unprecedented arrival of thousands of migrants, and New York City was alarmed that it was running out of social services and financing to support the 100,000 plus migrants that have overtaken the Big Apple. Elon Musk is saying that the migrants will come for your homes next. Does that sound very comforting to you guys? So drop me some comments, guys. I'm going to jump in the comments with you right now. I want to see what you guys are saying. So I got a lot of people in here saying, show your ID for voting. Voter ID should be shown. We got Louisa Locarno. We got Marvel Visionary. It's called martial law. Do you think martial law will be the next thing that's rolled out here? I mean, I certainly hope not. We got Russell Diaz. If you guys are enjoying the show, definitely hit the like button. Thank you so much for sharing these videos. Jimmy Price said it's shady as F. Elon Musk is not a liar, according to Carla Peck. Thanks for tuning in, Carla. We got Lord Andrew saying, I agree, voter ID. Jim Jarvis says, I live in central New York, and here we did not vote for Democrats. The city of New York have more the city of New York have more vote than us here in CNY. We get crapped on because of the cities. That's pretty effed up. That really is. That really is. I see an overwhelming number of people saying that an ID needs to be shown when voting. Drop me comments, guys. Let me know. Do you support this voter ID thing or not? Because they're trying to get rid of it. They're clearly trying to get rid of it. Carmine says they're up to no good. John Gardner says he already flew them here and they were sent by the UN. David, I love you too, man. Appreciate you. God bless you as well. All the way from Alabama. So where are you guys watching from right now? You guys, you got any of you guys in New York, California, Texas, Florida? Where y'all checking in from? Got Arkansas in the house. Okay. We got Texas in the house. What's going on? Washington. We got Kentucky, Hawaii. What is going on all the way from Hawaii? Got New Jersey in the house. So anyway, this is what we're seeing right now, guys. Oklahoma, Michigan, what's going on? Central New York, Brooklyn, New York, Colorado, South Carolina, Connecticut, Arizona, Georgia, Minnesota. Holy cow, you guys are all over the place. We got Wisconsin in the house, North Carolina, Idaho. Wow. Okay. I don't know if I've ever seen Idaho pop up in terms of viewers. I'm sure we do have viewers from Idaho, but I never see that in the comments. Florida, Chicago, New Zealand, Canada, Ireland. That is dope. Cartersville, Georgia. Jimmy Price, I see you, man. We got Zoe from Poland. We got Dean Miller from Nashville. So it looks like overwhelmingly you guys are in support. So, I mean, I guarantee if voter ID is important to you, between Biden and Trump, who do you think is going to make that be a law? You know, I think you guys know which president candidate hopeful is pushing for the voter ID and which presidential hopeful is trying to eliminate it. So, but that's a big sticking point. The borders is another big, huge sticking point. And we're running out of time here. November is going to be here in a second. So yeah, Terry A says Trump. Booster 14 says Trump. Carmine says Trump. James Fournier, he says Trump. Stevie G. So I think y'all know what's up. But I just wanted to give you guys that quick update. I'm gonna go ahead and bounce here. I hope you guys enjoyed the live. I really do appreciate hanging out with you guys, and you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Check out my previous videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.